Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another MLB trade rumor video. It's not really a trade rumor. It's not really a free agent signing rumor. We're talking about Carlos Correa today and an update in his situation. Carlos Correa, and I say this with a heavy heart, is back in talks with the Minnesota Twins. And I am a Twins fan, so this is just a burning passion of mine, is to talk about how I do not want Carlos Correa back on the team. But it was just reported maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago that Carlos Correa and the Twins are back in conversation, and the talks have been accelerating, whatever that means. So, what does this mean? I don't know. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, is I hope it means the Twins are not actually going to follow through with this and it doesn't work and they don't take him back for another year. So, here's the Carlos Correa situation as it stands currently. He was with the Twins for 3 years. Well, it was technically 1 year. He had the option for 2 more years, but he also had the option to opt out after each year. He was worth like $35 million per year. That is a lot of money. The Twins only have like $130 million in their entire cap space, and he was taking up like a fifth of it, right? But the Twins had him for a year. They did not make the playoffs. He had a fine season. I don't think it was great. I mean, it was a really good season, but I don't think it was up to his standards. It didn't lead the Twins to a playoff game. He wants to make money, be the star of a team, and make the playoffs, win a World Series, right? That is Carlos Correa's goal. So, he did not do that with the Twins and decided to leave. And the Giants picked him up. They paid a lot of money. They picked him up, and then for like 6 days, he was the San Francisco Giant until the physical or something failed. He got booted, or the deal didn't go through. Then the Mets picked him up in like the middle of the night. They picked him up, and now it sounds like that deal is also not going through. Hence the reason the Twins seem to be back in the conversation. So, this is where I step in with my grievance, right, as a Twins fan. I think Carlos Correa is a great player. I think he's fine. I don't want him on the team. Here's why. We have a guy named Royce Lewis who is really, really good. And he has been injured. It's not his fault last year, but he's been injured before. And that really slowed his acceleration to the MLB. And then he finally makes it to the MLB under the leadership of Carlos Correa. Does really well in his first, 15 games. Then they say, oh, Carlos Correa's back. I think Carlos Correa was hurt. He is going to be our shortstop. Of course, we paid $35 million for him. So, what are we going to do with Royce Lewis? We cannot send him down. He's 24 or whatever. He's really good. We need to keep him on the roster. They put him in center field. He gets hurt the first game out there. So stupid. And that made me so mad. And from that day on, I was just like, I don't want Carlos Correa back ever again. But the reason is, he had a great season, and he got hurt because of Carlos Correa, or at least because Carlos Correa was taking that position over, which is fine. They paid him, right? But now they have an opportunity to keep that $35 million, right? Keep that money that they were going to pay Carlos Correa, put Royce Lewis back in his normal spot, in his good spot at shortstop, and go pay anybody else. I mean, pitchers. That's what the Twins need, is good pitching. They should have went out and bought Scherzer. They should have went out and bought Verlander or bought DeGrom. They had the money to do so, and they chose not to do it, which really makes me upset as a Twins fan. But it's that's what their priority was. And it seems to be their brain is just fogged about Carlos Correa. They want Carlos Correa back, and I don't like that idea. Because what does he do, right? He's a great leader. I think he is a great leader. I think he's helping these guys a lot. And he had a good season. But the Twins as a whole need pitching. They need more than one superstar, right? They need that support staff. Luis Ariz tried everything he could. Won a batting championship, right? Won a batting title, but still couldn't do everything himself. Miranda stepped up as a rookie. Buxton was probably the biggest problem last year, getting hurt again. But it's they have the pieces, and maybe that's why they want Carlos Correa back, but I just don't think they have room for him, and I think they could go spend that money other ways way better, right? Carlos Correa had a great season. He had a great season last year. 5.4 WAR. I don't know if that actually led the team, but that's pretty good. Like Aaron Judge, the best player in the league, right, last year, had an 11 WAR. That's pretty good to have half that. I mean, Aaron Judge had a spectacular season. Nobody gets 11 WAR. That is probably average to a little bit above average for Carlos Correa. Very good. I mean, he's played for how many seasons? 8. And he's at 40 WAR. That would be about 5 a season, right? So exceeded expectations a little bit there, I would say. Had a great season otherwise. 22 home runs, 64 RBI, 291 batting average, and an OPS plus of 140. Overall, statistically, that is one of his best seasons that he's had. I mean, overall, that is definitely top 3 and probably one of the most complete seasons that he has had. The numbers in the RBI category are a little bit down. Home runs are just a touch down, I would say, probably right around average. The OPS plus is right around average. I mean, you're really comparing his Rookie of the year, which he had a great year in 2015. You're also looking at his 2017 year. I won't say anything. And his 2021 year, which was the year that he walked, right? That's the year that the Twins went out and signed him after that free agency year. So, really, he has done well in the years, when he needed to. As a rookie, when they won the World Series last time, and then in 2021 in his free agency year. So, to come into this season, I think his numbers were a little bit disappointing. And again, I think that he wants to take those numbers. Yes, he wants to be the star on a team, but he wants those numbers to be the team that makes the World Series, not a team that finishes third in the AL Central, right? So that is a fine year by him. He was also in the number 2 spot a lot, I think. So you're just not going to get as many RBI opportunities there as you would somewhere else in the lineup. Regardless, I digress. The point being that he had a fine season, and his numbers are great, but the Twins don't need him, right? Like, if you compare him to Royce Lewis, you are getting, I think the biggest, it's like Aaron Rodgers, right? I don't want to compare this to football, but it's like Aaron Rodgers is getting paid 10 times more than Jordan Love. I'm not a Packers fan, but he is getting paid 10 times more than Jordan Love. Is he 10 times better than Jordan Love? Probably not. So why do you want to keep Aaron Rodgers around? He's older. Correa is 28, right? He'll be 28. This is not the same comparison, but he is in his prime, and he is worth a lot of money. Is he that many times better than Royce Lewis? I don't think so, and that's why I think you spend the money on somebody else. A pitcher, 3 pitchers, 7 pitchers. It doesn't matter. They just need help in that category. And Carlos Correa, I know the Twins want him because he's a leader and because he had a good season last year, but I don't think Carlos Correa is the missing piece, right? I said this in so many other videos. Carlos Correa is a star, and he needs support around him, but I don't think that the Twins use him as that superstar, right? They have Buxton. Buxton is their piece. They brought in Carlos Correa to work with him, right? They are trying to build around Buxton. They are building around Luis Ariz. They are building around these guys, and Carlos Correa was that piece. He was not the star that he wanted to be, and that leads me to my final point here, is that Carlos Correa wants to be the star. He wants to go get paid, right? The Twins were in a 3-year deal with him, and they paid $35 million. He walked away from that, or at least he got paid this year, then walked away from the other 2 years. I'm guessing if he comes back, he's going to want more money, right? And again, is he now, I don't know what Royce Lewis's contract is, but is he that many times better than Royce Lewis as a 24-year-old who showed a lot of potential last year, who can actually play his position now? Is he that much better, right? Again, he is that finishing piece on the Twins that didn't actually end up panning out to make the playoffs and actually go deep into the playoffs. Is he that much better? Yes, he is a great piece. He is a superstar, but I don't think he's for the Twins because the Twins have other needs, right? And you cannot convince me that Carlos Correa is worth that much money comparatively to what else the Twins need and what else they bring to the table with the valued players that they have. So that's my rant. I don't like that the Twins are back in conversation with Carlos Correa, and it's funny because earlier today, if you stayed till the end of this video, I greatly appreciate you. But earlier today, there was also another rumor, I don't know who it was by, that said the Twins and Carlos Correa talks are almost non-existent. And it looks like the Twins are just going to walk away from this and not have any say in it. And then, again, at like 10 o'clock at night, that is changed almost completely, doing a 180. And it looks like the Twins might actually be the front runner again for Carlos Correa, assuming that the Mets deal doesn't really work out. So crazy, crazy, crazy stuff in the MLB right now. But Carlos Correa, back to being the top free agent now that Brett Phillips is signed again. Go check out that video if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.